After the September 11th attacks, thousands of first responders and volunteers flooded to the World Trade Center site.
And a Georgia man was among them. Now that volunteer faces a new challenge, lung cancer, and he believes it may be related to his work at the site. And the Fox Medical team's Beth Galvin is here now with more on his story. Beth?
And Russ and Marissa, his decision to go down there really was almost automatic. Craig Sotkowski wanted to help. He'd renovated houses. He had some construction experience, so he joined the cleanup, not knowing that the air that he was breathing could be toxic.
It was just a normal day.
But quickly, Craig Sotkowski realized September 11th would be anything but normal.
And I just looked and I just saw all the smoke, heard all the sirens.
His wife took these pictures from across the river as they watched the two towers fall.
And for some reason, I just thought I needed to be there, and that's what I did.
It took 2 days just to get to the site. The air down there was thick with smoke.
I was smart enough to bring a respirator, but I didn't know that it'd be not usable in like less than 10 minutes. Just the filters would just clog up. I was only there for 2 days. And I didn't think anything of, the stuff that I was going through.
But in 2012, Sotkowski, a non-smoker, developed a chest infection. And then it happened again.
It was like every few months I was getting pneumonia and pleurisy.
This went on for 5 years until a lung doctor here in Atlanta asked Sotkowski if he'd ever been exposed to anything unusual.
And that's the first time I mentioned 9/11. And after that, everything changed.
Because he had lung cancer at 52.
I was just like, like, whoa, I have at the time, 11-year-old daughter, I have a beautiful wife, and just, it shocks you.
The air was far from safe.
But he doesn't shock attorney Michael Barish, whose law firm represents about 12,000 people like Sotkowski who flooded into the World Trade Center site after the disaster and have since gotten sick.
And so many people felt this connection because 343 firefighters died that day, 60 police officers died that day.
Barish is helping Sotkowski apply for the 9/11 Victims' Compensation Fund, set up by the U.S. government for people who can prove that their illnesses are linked to their exposure to toxins in and around the World Trade Center site.
The respiratory illnesses started right away, but the cancers had to have been diagnosed after 2005 to be considered linked to the toxic exposure. And in fact, we are now seeing so much more cancer. I mean, these aren't just cancers. These are cancers on steroids.
This is what you had.
Craig Sotkowski hasn't worked since his lung cancer diagnosis, and he's still waiting on a decision on his case. But he says he has no regrets.
And I tell people, honestly, it's probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. For the simple reason, it made me accelerate my life. It made me realize that there's no time to waste. For me, that's what it's about. I can't stop, and I won't.
And the deadline to apply for the 9/11 Victims' Compensation Fund is December 18th of 2020, so 2 years. Barish says if you believe you have a case, he encourages you to start applying now because he says the process takes a lot of time, and he and others are urging Congress to extend that fund deadline beyond 2020, Russ and Marissa, because he says, what happens if December 19th, 2020, you develop a cancer, you were down there at the site, that might just not be enough time. There may be a delay in getting sick.
It may take a while to even make the connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and so many people down there in those early days.
You saw those pictures.
And apparently it wasn't safe for any of them, right?
Yeah, the air quality, I think the EPA commissioner came out and said it was safe, but it turns out it was not safe for many days after there. The air was toxic.
All right. Beth Galvin, thanks.
Yeah.